Alright, boys, Black Clover is dropping tomorrow, at least the JP and KR versions. Global is dropping in about 6 to 8 weeks after that. We have official confirmation for that, so I can tell you for certain. And until then, I'll be on the JP version, most likely. I'll stream the Korean version, I'll play on the JP version mainly. But what I wanted to talk about is, am I going to quit Rank Cross? Because the games are very similar. If you didn't know, the team that worked on Black Clover, most of them, if not all of them, are people that were on the initial team for Grand Cross 2. They were making the actual Grand Cross game, right? They're not responsible for the updates, they're responsible for how good the game is, right? The gameplay, the way it looks, right? The way it runs, the whole systems, the models and everything. That's why you'll see a lot of similarities. There's some differences though, some good ones, some bad ones, obviously. I have played the beta extensively, a lot. And I was doing a lot of testing and stuff. And I also looked into like a bunch of different systems during it, because I was like, okay, I don't just like spam one like game mode or something. I actually want to get info out of it. And I initiated a bunch of stuff recorded, and I had a text document as well. Now the videos I recorded, I deleted on accident, and the text document I lost because I reset my Windows. But I practically still remember everything, especially because I still have some screenshots that I sent to myself, which isn't much, and I don't have my like beginner video to my video where I did the survey, which by the way, this channel will be in the description. If you could sub to this channel and watch this video, it'd be very greatly appreciated, okay? Because I need to remonetize this channel, okay? So if you could watch it, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys right now, I'm not quitting Rank Cross. Most likely I'm not quitting Rank Cross. Obviously, we get the anniversary news tomorrow, so we'll see how the LR system works in that game and everything. In this game, LR is very chill, okay? Getting a unit from base to LR is very chill. You technically need dupes, but you get all the dupes by having fun with the unit. So you can get any unit to LR for free. I'm gonna make a video on like stuff that's really important that you don't want to change. And there's also gonna be a reroll guide I'm gonna make, and then a starter guide I want to make, and then a story guide I want to make, team building guide I want to make. A bunch of stuff on this game I want to make, right? A bunch of content where I think I have the edge over a bunch of other people that also played the beta because they didn't test. And Black Clover for me is just going to be a very nice start, because there's not going to be any real YouTubers on there. Except the people I already know, right? Like some of the Grand Cross people are transferring over. Seaton is starting again, so it'll be cool to hang out with Seaton again. Nagato's over there, right? Speedy, I don't know how exactly his plans are, but I know he's going to make Black Clover content. Mystic Watch is going to come back for it too. So that's going to be really cool, right? It's going to be really cool. Right, it's pretty much just the Grand Cross boys taking over. It's a very similar game, it just makes sense, right? There's gonna be some small YouTubers, but I don't know, like, exactly, you know, small YouTubers tend to not do, they tend to give up after like a week if their channel doesn't grow. So, it is what it is. Anyway, Black Clover, the game. From a Grand Cross perspective, would you like the game? The answer is yes. The game, from the vibe and feel, is very similar. If you've liked Grand Cross at any point in your life, you'll probably like Black Clover. The combat system is different. It's a speed-based turn. It's a speed-based turn-based like game. So the gameplay. If I go on the pre-register webpage, I can actually like show you a bunch of stuff. Because by the way, you can pre-register for global right now. Right, very simple. The JP and Korea pre-register, I'm gonna make a video on tomorrow. Like not pre-register, like how to download it. Gonna make a video on the bot tomorrow. Now I am German, so the whole text here is in German. You hate to see it. But the way it works is, okay. You have your characters here, right? This 10 is their old gauge, okay? It's 10, imagine. I've been saying this in Grand Cross for ages, but whatever. The blue stuff is the HP bar. Now this yellow bar is their stamina bar, right? Their endurance. That one decides how, when your turn is, okay? So there's enemies and moves that can deplete your stamina, and then you'll be moved to the end of the thing. They have like normal screenshots I can show you. There, right? So Luck right now, he probably just did a move. He has no stamina, right? It's empty. So he's at the end of the turn right now, right? He's gonna recover, and then it's his turn again. Now there's gonna be debuffs that can like reduce it, right? As like a mushroom type debuff. I'm pretty sure like that's what it looked like, and they can reduce it, and then he'll go back to the end, right? Basic combat stuff. It's Asa's turn right now. His is full, right? They are moving at the end of the turn too, right? As you can see, they have like no stamina. It's pretty much just their speed gauge, right? It shows you when someone's turn is, which is very nice because it's really easy to calculate like how much speed and stuff you needed. There was no speed stat in the beta, so it was just like stamina stuff. So it's interesting. There's characters that can increase like their turn count and everything. Like I forgot her name. I think she's one of these pictures. The Rose Captain. Where is she? Her. I always forget her name. Charlotte, right? Charlotte. What's her like? I like the second name. Whatever. Right? And she could do it. Right. Oh, right there she is. Right. But she was asked, so it is what it is. The thing is, some characters, by the way, have been changed in beta. Most of them are still the same. So that's whatever. But some of them have changed. So when I do my tier list, some of them will be like slightly off. I'll tell you right now. But overall, the game is very similar. It's actually so weird that it's like, it's in German. This is attack, magic attack, vitality. Oh no! Oh, never mind. It's defense, Verteidigung. Yikes! Then life, and then accuracy, which all stats that matter. I did do a like test run of like what substats give you the most CC, and crit, by the way, ended up being the highest. Okay, I'll spoil my findings right now. Crit was the highest, which is very weird, right? It did more than basic stats did for CC, so you definitely want a lot of crit stuff. Also, I'm finding out that black bulls are actually just like, well, they translate black bulls, which is weird. But I guess they do in Japanese too. They call them like kuro, whatever kuroi, whatever the thing is. So makes sense. Yeah, the game is very similar to Grand Cross in its like framework. You have your characters, right? They have the rarities. Everyone can go up to max rarity, right? Just like in Grand Cross. The gear works very differently, but you have gear sets for different characters, right? But the gear set I'd compare more to like, honestly, like Genshin. Or Epic 7, but it is some games do this, some like old games do this. It's like okay, I don't know this pictures. It's this, right? You get pieces that have different shapes, and you have to play Tetris and fit them all in, right? So most of the time you'll be able to fit in a 4-piece and a 2-piece, right? Here I had 3 2-pieces. I had the 2-piece. This was crit chance, I think. Then this 2-piece, this was crit damage, and this 2-piece just gave you attack, magic attack, I think. Right, so that stuff is like very basic. And then here I had 2-piece. This was like speed generation type stuff. And then this was crit and crit again. Yeah, okay. And then you have your stuff here, right? I had a bunch of crit damage to him, not too much crit rate, but he gives himself crit rate, so like it worked out. And you can see he's LR, and all my other characters are LR here too. The way it worked in this game was when you pull a character, you have your affinity gauge here, right? And there's stages that refill your affinity with characters, so you can level it up. And you'd get dupes from them for leveling up, and those dupes would be enough to get them to LR. And there's no other use for dupes as of right now, which is why I'm sort of worried too, and a lot of people are too. Because how are they going to monetize the game? Because the rates weren't too bad in the beta, especially we got a lot of currency, and the actual like game isn't seemingly changing that. So it's going to be really good. Obviously, like the battle pass isn't going to be free like it was in the beta. But it was really good. Like the whole like summoning setup was pretty good. Everyone in the beta where you couldn't spend, you were forced to be free to play. So outside of the battle pass being like technically free, there was no whale advantage. Everyone had every character pretty much. And you can get all of them to LR. And at the end of the beta, I had every character in my box at LR. Which is very cool, right? You get the dupes for free. There was no other like thing for dupes, which okay, it's scary because how are they gonna monetize it? If everyone can get every character to LR, like how are they gonna monetize it, right? There was no ult levels, right? Like there was no like, oh, like click Shuna, oh well, she's 1/6, oh well, I guess I'll have to summon more. There was no that type of stuff, right? There was no super awakening like locked behind dupes. So it's that's like a very scary thing going into it from a Grand Cross perspective, like a general gacha perspective. But the game is really cool. So am I going to quit? Most likely not. I'm not going to quit Grand Cross for it. But I'm going to be, definitely for the first months, like the first 4 or 5 months, I'm going to be a lot more heavily on like Black Clover. Right? And then like, I'm still going to do Grand Cross uploads. I'm going to try and do it daily. Or like at least like 4 or 5 times a week. But I'm gonna mostly be on Black Clover, I'll tell you right now. Like, the game was really fun. As a show, I love Black Clover. I do really like 7 Days Since too. Like, really, it's just like, I think it's like the Grand Cross brain rot, like, ruined 7 Days Since for me, like, sorta, not really, but like, I don't look at characters the same way, right? I look at Ban, I'm like, cringe, right? Because I'm remembering Purgatory Ban's reign. I look at the one, I'm like, oh, yikes. I'm not, oh, he's not cool. No, he's cringe. Like, he's so ignorant, annoying. Right? Look at Escrow in general. Gal's the only one that stayed the exact same way. I was like, he's sick in the show, he's sick in the game, you love to see it, right? That's like the only one, but like for the most part, like Meliodas, so like, Purg Meliodas, disgusting, right? Obviously when I drop him new Meliodas, it's still hype. And Black Clover isn't going to kill Grand Cross, because Grand Cross is probably still going to be an overall more complete game. But at launch, games are just more fun, right? If you remember, like Grand Cross launch, it was so fun. People would just play for like 12 hours a day because you could, right? You had so much stuff to do because your account wasn't established. You hadn't cleared all sorts of content yet. You hadn't leveled up every unit to max yet, right? Like all that type of stuff. You hadn't like finished the story even, right? You haven't climbed through the PvP ranks for the first time yet. So it was very cool for the first time doing that, right? Or like for me, like the 5th time, because I kept doing new accounts and then global releases. Okay, all new account. So that was really cool, and I used to do like updates on like, oh yeah, like day 3 global, like show me what your CC is on your team right now and stuff. Really, really hype, really cool, right? You like overnight book stage runs, right? If you know, if you know. If you know, you know. That type of stuff. And the Black Clover will give you that same experience. Obviously, that's going to fizzle out too. And it's going to become a login, do the content you don't want to do, be forced by your guild to do a certain boss, and then log off type stuff. Right? But it's going to be fresh for the start. And then the characters and stuff, it's a new launch. It's just going to be a lot more fun, right? It's going to be a lot more active as well. Grand Cross is really active still, obviously, especially on global. JP too. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just overall, Grand Cross is still a huge gacha game, right? But it's just like, right? It's like stamp porn. Like Grand Cross isn't doing much to innovate anymore, right? And then especially with how this year has been going, I don't see much for Grand Cross. Obviously until Origins drops. When Origin drops, I'm back full throttle. Like I'm here. What's up? But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what like my plan is going moving forward. Ideally, I'll do both. I'll do Black Clover. I'll do Grand Cross. I'll do Star Rail. But that's gonna be really difficult for me, obviously. So what you can expect is definitely me doing a lot more Black Clover, which is why if you can, please sub to that channel and watch that video, because I do need the like revenue stuff like reapplied. I'm not kidding. That's the only reason. I was gonna upload like a 2-hour video on this and then just tell people to run it from me, but I think that's that definitely is something against the TOS. So this is an actual video where I talk about the game, by the way. I don't think I had every I hadn't had every character at LR yet. I had every SSR at LR, but anyway, like the game is pretty cool, right? You had PvP, you had a bunch of like PvE stuff. You had like the timed gold dungeon, technically the same way like Grand Cross had it. And this video I just talk about the game while doing the survey, and I went sorta in depth. Now, this video unfortunately is the 3rd survey. The first survey I went so in depth. I typed so much. But I can promise you the devs care about this game. They care about the content creators too, wink. And it's gonna be a lot of fun to play. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna start playing it when it comes out, because you like Grand Cross, you'll probably like this game. There's a very high chance you like this game, right? Obviously there's some different elements, right? Like I even touch about like spells. You have to summon for spells, right? And I got like this spell, which this spell like was as they had like assets of the same image for like different types of spell. Like the beta obviously wasn't finished yet, right? It makes sense, right? But overall the gameplay experience for me was really nice. I had incredible amounts of fun. I really liked the game. I wish the beta never ended. You know, I was like, I just want to play. But it is a really good game, and I know a lot of you will enjoy it. So, and there you go, that's the Affinity Farm stage, for example. Right, this is the gold dungeon, the time one. Like King Wolf would just spawn randomly throughout the day. I think it's at certain times. It was like 5, 10, and 1 p.m. I think for me. But you know, he'd spawn, you'd roll him, you'd get some gold. But yeah, game was really fun. I think at the end, by the way, if anyone cares, I hit 227k CC or team power. But yeah. That's really it. Really cool game. Really, really cool game. Mars is broken, by the way. I don't know how much like they change him. I know apparently they changed William a bunch, so I don't know if I can recommend going for William. Jack is still broken, so I also could say go for Jack. I'm gonna be going for Jack. He's my favorite character. Well, he's one of my favorite characters, right? I think it's hard to have my favorite character in Black Clover. I feel like much people get like average amount of screen time, and then you have like the 3 prodigies, Noel, Asta, and and they just get everything like. Right, like the scene, the Manzit, they suddenly get like God's power given to them, right? But outside that, like I feel like every captain you can just like equally, right? Yami, I feel like, was kind of shoved down people's throat as like, oh, you have to like this character, by the way. Oh, look, he's doing this, he's so cool. But when he wasn't doing anything. But now he actually is cool, right? Especially if you've like finished the anime, if you've already read the manga too. I don't want to touch on the manga stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of uncool stuff. But yeah, no, Mars was really, really strong in PvP and PVE. He just had really high stunts. The best way to play PvP was just to not let your opponent play, which is why William was so strong, because he'd stun a character, he'd put him in his tree trunk, and then he'd also reduce their, like, completely erase their stamina bar. So you'd hit someone that's about to move, right? They had that, like, yellow gauge almost filled up. And then what would happen is they'd get moved to the end of the turn, and then when it's their turn, they were stunned, so it reset them again. So they were just, like, out the fight completely at that point. So what people would just do is just run like William and like a bunch of stun teams. Like at least they're like good people in PvP. A bunch of people would just like try to run DPS and stuff with like with just like William. Right, a bunch of people tried to run like Nozel. Nozel was ass for the most part. But yeah, again, I'm really excited for this game. I want to end the video finally too, because I've been talking about the game and how much I like it. The game's going to drop tomorrow on JP Korean. I'm going to make a video about that. But that's going to be it from me, boys. Good job.